Good morning and welcome to today's live stream. Yes, we are trying our best to bring back live video in 2026, but we have to get some footing over here with baby. She did not sleep well last night, but my wife was nice enough to have us get on here. So if you have any questions related to the course, hopefully we can answer some of those in this video. And we will be talking about IWM and what's going on with the signals there, because the Russell 2000, the futures there, showing some very interesting things. So I wanted to go over them. I was going to make a long typed out Patreon post, and then I was like, well, my wife made a good point and said, hey, you go ahead. I will take care of baby and the baby girl, and we will just get through it. So my wife is looking out for you guys this morning. She really wanted me to be able to do this, and even though we had a rough night last night, she's still sticking to it. So kudos to her, hats off to her, big claps to her, big claps for Mama in the chat. Now, as of today, we have a big expected move. We saw the disruption, so we completely wiped out anything that was going on here. Remember, the cues were suggesting we could spend a lot of time in this area, but I think the interesting signals are coming out from uh, actually, I would say the interesting signals are coming out from IWM. IWM in these areas, we do see some interesting things forming here. We do see potential 2-hour flatness here for this RSI. If you pull that over, and we will go over this a few times, I just want it at the beginning of the video in case someone clicks on it. And later on, you can look at this 4-hour divergence that we really see here. Now, it could be considered a divergence. I would say also you would just consider this a double bottom and consider the fact that the MACD could cross up really close to that center line. This is what we just posted to Patreon. You see that you have divergence here on the 4-hour for the Russell 2000 in the futures. You see that's on the MACD and RSI at the same time. Now, why is this signal very important? Well, because if IWM does not have daily reversal signals here that have confirmed, then this would suggest that we can go make a new high here for the US 2000 in the near price action. So as we look at the daily, what do we see? We see no reversal signal as of right now. We see that it is in a dramatically positive trend, and that 4-hour divergence here is suggesting that the daily is highly probable to turn up here. So if that 4 hour is able to go into a positive trend, Patreon members, you have a picture of it over on Patreon. Then this would suggest that this has a good shot at turning up close to that center line. Look at that. So weirdly enough, the 4-hour divergence here really coming into play. No confirmation as of yet. You do have confirmation with the RSI, and this would be price action confirming. But if you want to wait for the lagging MACD, you might have to wait till the end of the day for that. And because of all this rapid upside, you could see 30-minute pullbacks and things like that. But squeeze here is on the table. What does that tell us for the futures for, say, SPY, say the SPX 500? Well, we can go look at those and see that we wiped out a lot of the good stuff we were doing. So it is very likely to be the safer trader here to wait for that potential higher low in some way, or see if this is able to fail. We see one more flow of volatility and create the reversal signal here. Remember that if this crosses down, it is bearish. This is bearish stance as of right now. The SPY is in a bearish stance as of right now. Bearish as in a downtrend, not bearish as in super mega crash. We still have, if you saw my argument posted to Patreon yesterday, we still have reasons to watch, right? If the market did not have any kind of bear trap signal, then I would have nothing to say here. But remember that the market most of the time goes up. So what do we do until we see very clear topping signals, which we do not see those as of right now? I can show you the difference if you would like in the chat. I can show you the difference. Well, most likely Bitcoin, we can go over that as well. And thank you so much, GreenFit. Yeah, we really have, and I'm blessed to be able to, be able to work at home and help out as much as possible, and take smaller sizes, right? Take those smaller position sizes. Well, very important thing I think nobody talks about. If you have stuff going on in your life and you're a trader, you downsize those positions and things like that. Make yourself feel at ease. That way you're not stressed out around your family. It's something that I really had to practice over the last year. And that's, partially because that's why we took away the live video for a time being, but we're going to try to get back into that I want to say by summer. I don't want to give you guys something that I can't fully, bring to fruition. So I want to make sure to put us in the best spot possible to bring back live video so it is consistent. It may only be a few times a week, and it may be over on Patreon, but we'll see. So what's the overall standpoint here? Well, if we look at the 4-hour here compared to IWM, it doesn't look as nice, right? You don't see that divergence or anything like that. Doesn't mean we can't V-shape, but it would suggest like that 2-hour higher low is very, very important. We can look at the US 100. We can see we've wiped out everything. So it's still very likely that we need to create that divergence to turn around. We need to create that higher low to turn around. So this will take time. But Bitcoin seriously V-shaping, I don't see a serious V-shape. We have really dumped off here. So when we went over Bitcoin last, we talked about this 4-hour divergence right here. And this is a good example of things can fail. This is a very easy example of a failure. This is where a chart is telling you that we are rolling into negative territory. You do not mess around with negative territory, right? If a signal goes wrong, it's going wrong. You see the confirmation saying, hey, we can maybe get a daily move to the upside here. It fails. It crosses back down right here on this bar towards 87.6K. And we roll completely to the downside, wiping out any forms of divergence, wiping out any forms of divergence. This is why if you're looking for that daily to turn around and the signal fails, you have to be trading like water. You have to be ready to react because this is a serious flush. Now, where do I think we are heading? As of right now, you would say what in order to turn around? You probably need, in order to get that counter trend weekly move from Bitcoin, you probably need a reversal signal in here. And this trend line is very serious. So we could just see a daily move back down. And then I would really be looking for divergences and things like that because on the daily scale, Bitcoin's very good at giving weekly and daily divergences. It's pretty good at it. You can see that the tops here that people are all talking about, weekly divergence right here. We see that on the MACD very plainly. And then you have weekly divergence all across this. But the important thing is what we mentioned in the full technical analysis course that you can still get right now for the discount. The point of this video is for anyone to be able to ask questions. I tried to put that on Patreon because I know some people were emailing me questions. And I did answer most of them, but I wanted to make sure to put this up for some people just in case. But the big point here is we talk about things being at the same time. This is where you just build your argument. You're building your reasons for why Bitcoin would fall down. It's right there. And then right here, you had reasons to see if that was going to turn around. Those failed, and you have to know those failures. It's very simple. If your trade goes wrong, if you roll down in negative territory, it's a bad thing. So in order to curl up this weekly, well, the daily is most likely going to have to make that divergence or a higher low in this area. And then that weekly could just be some kind of counter trend to give you that right shoulder that could have been. So is the downside done? I don't know as of right now. I would say we most likely have one more daily roll. So is this a great buying area? I mean, you'd probably say yes. You can probably pull up volume profiles and things like that on this. But I would say this area is probably really, really nice with the tops back here and the consolidation in that area. There's probably some solid buys in that area. So if you're seeing if that can turn around, we don't have to make that right shoulder and fail. We could make that right shoulder and bust through. So you want to be just in this like, hey, this is a good area. If I get that weekly counter trend move, I just have to watch for a roll up here towards that 100K. Very, very nice look, though. It's not bad. I've got some other fun ones, but I haven't looked at those in a long, long time. The AMC getting a little move. Let's talk about volatility. Volatility as of right now down by over 10% to start the day. Big signal here. This is not something you could ignore. But one thing that we know here is that signals work better at the same time, right? RSI, MACD at the same time. We see it plainly on the MACD. This should have your alarm bells screaming. If I was an investor and I was holding the S&P and I just held through everything for the last, say, I don't know, 5 to 20 years, and I see something like this, it would give me some of those alarm bells. It would say, hey, a monthly pullback can happen here. Monthly volatility can come in. And then you look at the daily and you're like, okay, if that crosses down, though, we might have some time. We might need to make a higher low. We might need to come down to that 1212 to really set a big trap, right? So overall, the weekly signal is something to be cautious about. If you're trading shorter time frames, I would understand that that is there. It can help you in looking at certain things, like if you're trying to take a 2-month play or something like that, an 8-week play. I would consider those signals for sure. But as of right now, you have 2 hour that has violated the divergence on the MACD. It is on the RSI. It's very wonky. So you want to be prepared if we have another spike in volatility. If this curls up into positive territory, you do not want to mess around with it. And that's a very simple thing to know right in front of you. Right now, we're breaking down. 30-minute is losing previous lows, maybe even going to lose another, going negative as of right now. So if we're going to V-shape, now is your attempt, in my opinion. Now is your attempt. If we're not going to V-shape and we're going to create those divergences, well, then that would make a lot of sense as well. So you have the potential to V-shape here right now. I think that now would be the time for it. But if you wanted to, signals suggest you can remain in this area for the SPY and the QQQs for a bit of time. One signal that I wanted to talk about again, just so we get it in a few parts here, is the US 2000, right? This is a very, very big signal. This does suggest that the 4-hour can go into a positive trend and the daily can finally turn to the upside here for US 100, US 2000, but also the IWM. So I just wanted to point that out once again. I hope everyone's having a great morning. Hope you have your coffee ready. Toronto, yep, we're doing it today. We're hoping to bring it back in 2026, but I think it might take until about summer. We'll have to see. We're back, Justin. Justin, I really like our emails back and forth, bud. They were a lot of fun for a while. I've been pretty busy lately, but I've really enjoyed. Me and Justin go back and forth in some emails probably once or, well, we were for a while there. We were going back and forth every week. It was a lot of fun. I do enjoy just talking about markets with people who, enjoy the craft and stuff like that as well. I think it's a lot of fun. So you're not guaranteed to get an email back from me, but if you catch me at the right time and you catch my ADHD, you usually get it. Yeah, it is funny how that happens, right, Fritz? Well, it's just because everyone makes those big bearish bets down here. Not the biggest bearish bets, though. If you really want to take it into consideration, I guess at the end, at the beginning of Wednesday, we had that spike into the put side, but we're immediately back to calls. So something's going on. Now, we mentioned a place to really look at here is financials. That JP Morgan play going very well. Financials saying, hey, we're going to get some kind of counter move here. We want to watch out for this, right? Look at the positioning here. But financials was saying, hey, we're going to turn around. There's another thing that I could show you. I know I'm talking a lot, but there's so much that I looked at this morning. This right here, the dollar, right? We've been waiting for this. How many times in our macro update did we say the dollar needs to make a weekly divergence or a weekly higher low to really tell us, yes, we're going to see people go into cash and out of stocks, but during that time, we're probably going to see a trap set in the SPY, right? Before we actually drop, a lot of the time, we like to set some kind of trap. So if the dollar turns around here on the weekly scale, that would make a lot of sense for people to potentially be getting out of markets while the market actually goes higher. We'll watch for that, but we haven't seen confirmations. All we see from the dollar as of right now is this 2-hour divergence. This is telling us that the dollar on the 4-hour is likely to see a pullback here. Where can that really head to? I think the dollar could head down to this like 96.9. We can leave that line there. This is all we should expect as of right now. So are we going to go set one more trap to the upside and fall? Are we going to, be done when the dollar is done backing off, when the dollar is ready for its next big turn up? Are we going to be done, or are we going to see the market go up and the dollar go up at the same time? Most of the time, you do see the dollar go up and the market go up at the same time. I just wanted to point that out. It's funny, Fritz, isn't it? Oh, is it flying Toronto? Nice. I think I heard some people talking about a lot of Chinese stocks and stuff too, but I just haven't had the most time these days. Could you start doing a daily moves for IW? We can try to do that. We can start doing that. Let me put it in my notepad. I don't know if what my notepad has on it right now. So if you, okay, it has expected moves. Let's do this. I'll add it to my notepad. IWM daily expected moves. I might not be able to break it down every time, but I can at least maybe show those off at the end of the video. IWM looks nice here. I'm not going to lie. That's what that signal says to me. That signal says to me, IWM looks nice. Now it's an upward move pretty rapidly. Shoot, my dad's going to call me. I'll have to call my dad back. Yeah, we'll try to put those in the videos because people have asked for those for a while. It's just, my scatterbrain sometimes gets to me. Let's look at IWM for today, though, considering those signals. I just wanted to bring up the dollar. So you see how the 4-hour really wants to curl up. This means the daily is likely to curl up here. I think you even see the divergences on the 2-hour RSI. Yeah, you see that divergence there. It's just more clear on the US 2000. This really does suggest something good here. I am close above 258 this week is bullish, below not 258. Oh yeah, you close back below 258 is bad. What you really want to happen here, very simply on the 2-hour chart, all you like taking we went over the technicals. We went over the technicals here for sure, but what you'd really like to see from price action is take that out. That's all you need to take out. You take that out, you can come back, it doesn't matter. Your probabilities shift completely once this is taken out. Pretty much once this is taken out, you validate everything down here for the futures market. So I would say the important levels, yes, I would say 258 is a great level to watch, but I would say a closure above 265, we'll say 265, is like best case scenario for IWM. Let me pull these charts over here so I can look at stuff while you guys bring it up. XLE, let's go to XLE. You gotta be careful for that bigger 2-hour pullback, but man, that thing is screaming. Eventually, you're gonna see that thing kind of top out and give you a pull, but it's gonna be that. It's in such a positive trend now. If you look at this from the daily perspective, this is really stating like, yeah, actually, and I think you're more likely to see consolidation. I don't think you'll see this. I actually think you're very likely to do like just this, and then you come to the upside. But either way, that means we might extend a little further, but I'm looking for that. I'm looking for what IWM or what the US 2000 is showing. You'd look for that kind of right over here. I don't think the 2-hour set, it's just, look at the little, you can see it on the daily. You see this little divert like thing going on here. It probably means we have 2-hour divergence in some fashion. Look how significant on the RSI. Does that get me excited to buy? Not necessarily. Not necessarily here. Does it get me excited to see, hey, the stock's really strong? And if the 2-hour were to pull back, yeah, we could see another move higher. Okay, cool. So that would be the best case scenario here is the 2-hour says we can continue. But then right around this level, you want to watch for that daily kind of grind downwards for a moment. It shouldn't be too bad, though. XLE really looking nice here. I don't think it... What's going on in here? I don't think I would bet against this. I really don't. I think like worst case for XLE here is you see like upward, we do this, we go like this. You see a spike down and then it just comes right back up. That's the bearish look, but it is very likely to continue. So I really like it. I think the simple way to look at it, I like to talk simply, especially when I talk at the end of things. Very simple way to do it is be like, I don't want to buy something here, here, here. I want to buy something down here. So if it goes like this and turns up, okay, there's where I'm actually looking at it. I really want to get moves for all of these too, like XLE, XLF, if I can. I really want to bring those into our Patreon. I think that'd be fantastic. But I'm just one guy. So happy to see you. What up, Zana doing? How's it? My speaking's not the best. How can I put 5 or 10 likes? Hey, that'd be fantastic, but that's all right. Is the monthly breaking out too? I didn't look at monthly chart. Let me go to a monthly real quick. Let me look at weekly. Weekly's breaking out, so you don't have to come back. Weekly's saying we're going. Monthly, yeah, monthly's saying you're going. So the best bet is like you get a daily pullback, and I think it's mainly I would lean towards consolidation, but daily pullback back into like 48, that would be a nice level to catch something. I like IWM here. I think I'll be paying attention to the futures a lot. VIX, you just got to watch that 30-minute. We're indecisive. With the confirmation up, though, it will be a positive 9% bar at this time. It will technically be red. VIX over here, it will technically be red, but remember to read right here. That's positive, okay? So that is a bar. That should say, hey, if I'm new, if I'm not confident with my trade, if I'm not good at risk management, be very cautious with position sizing and things like that. It would just, it's something to watch for. You have plenty of time to look for plenty of easier plays during a much less risky time. That monthly turning up is risky. You have a long time for that monthly for volatility to actually turn up, though. It's a monthly, right? We have to look at it more towards the last week of February. We're in the first week. This could literally just be a volatility scare to start off the month. Okay. Actually, let's look at the, I'm going to go look at the daily move for IWM. You should have it on Patreon, but IWM, the top side is 261.23. And you notice we come up, we get it right above it, we get to it, we can't hold through it as of right now. This is good though. You need price to remain up here. So I do agree with the 258 statement. I don't think you want to come back here. I think if you come back, it better be for a quick little boop boop, and that's it. I do like it. Pretty sure we fail on QQQ. Fail which direction, DSAT? Let me see. I hear you above 258, 270 close above, like you said, 265. I like the 265 the best. As far as like, hey, am I confident? You know, with IWM, you can say the same type of stuff about the SPY. What do we need to take out for the SPY? You would say this right here. Right here. And that's not saying things can't go wrong here. You're still negative, but it says if I want confidence of direction, then I need to see this taken out in some way. A closure above it would be best. And then you come back down. You're not as fearful of the come down at that point. It's the same thing for IWM with 265. I really like, there was one that I was looking at. Let me flip through them real quick. There's one that I was really looking at here. Apple's still breaking through from when we called out that bottom. Now, I got out of it before the earnings. I'm not going to act like I'm a genius or something. The one that I think is starting to get interesting is actually, I believe it's Tesla. At the levels Tesla is at, I'd be staring, looking for those reversal signals. Good buyers have popped up in there multiple times. It's just that weekly little divergence is a freaky, freaky thing. Tesla might have a little bit more time, but I think Tesla could see some kind of comeback here for a little bit. We'll have to see. It really depends on if we're actually rolling down. We have the potential to roll down right now. Remember what we did right here? Hey, if we take this out, we roll down. We're looking for the 2 hour to roll here, right? We didn't get that, right? Instead, we were like, hey, we took the 2 hour, went to positive. So look for 30-minute pullback. It's taken back the 5. 30-minute confirms up. We go make that new high, right? Same thing we're doing here. Let me erase this. So same thing here in the near price action, just different levels. You took out this, right? We have plainly, you've seen the bars be able to come below, just barely. You have taken it out though, technically. And then what you're looking for is that 2 hour to fail at some point. This is actually the more meaningful role, in my opinion. This tells you, okay, now we can come down and test this level. And who's to say you don't just roll and actually wipe that out because you're negative. So, yeah, same thing as right here with the roll is the 2 hour bearish roll here. Do you think that's actually higher probability this time? Yes, it actually is a little bit more probable with the positioning of the MACD being a little lower. You would be very, very aware of that. So what would we look for if we get some kind of counter move here? Let's say we build this back, right? Maybe it's slow grinding, right? We grind up. You see this up, and then it rolls. We see that 30-minute divergence, or, you know, we break down, we make the 30-minute lower high. Yeah, that 2 hour looks like it's rolling, and we might actually see that correction now. Now, if you read my statement on Patreon, my long statement there, my statement was I'm paying attention to the bullish thing until the truly bearish thing shows its face, until it takes away all the bullish things. That's what I'm going to do here. I've just seen way too many tricks and traps like this. The dollar was not moving up with the market at the same time. The Qs wiped out reversal signals on the daily. That is something you rarely see at an actual top. So, like I said, though, this is where it's just important to understand that volatility curling up. And you just go, okay, if I'm going to take any bullish play here, I might want to be modest until I see obvious direction. You would say it would be more obvious that this would go, okay, this is where we really break through. But if that rolls short, makes another, you would actually like that a little lower probably. Then you would say, hey, that's the 2-hour roll. So I'll be posting about those things. We'll be walking through it. I've been trying to do my best to post a Patreon as much as possible during this time. We should see, I really think we should see a counter move from volatility soon, but that 5-minute just went super negative. So the 30 minutes going negative, but we are off of the 5-day right now for volatility. The streams are back, Super Hornet, just for a moment here. Okay, I feel rusty at it. I can't even like go live easily. I'm like, is this how I used to do it? Yeah, once Abuela came over, she took our 2-year-old, which helps a lot. It gave me some free time, and Mama Bear's watching baby. She encouraged me to get on the live show. She was like, you said you'd do it. I can take care of it for a bit. So kudos to her. And we're going to try our best to bring this back I have to just say in 2026. I don't think we can even do it till maybe summer, midsummer, but you're showing the NQ. The thing is, if you had an argument for which one is saying we're going to dump, it would be the Qs. It would be the NASDAQ. It would be that tech sector really says we're done. And financials look pretty good here. XLF looks pretty good here. So, that, the one that looks the weakest is going to be the Qs. Then you would say SPY. But you can't say IWM looks extremely weak here. IWM, those small caps, they have an argument here. So I appreciate that, Super Horn. I appreciate it, man. I wish I could have kept going, but this was our roughest pregnancy yet. So sometimes you got to put everything down for family. It's unfortunate. We had a lot of fun, and I hope we bring it back. I think we can bring it back soon. I have a low on most. I think a lot of those lows, I'd be looking for formation of lows for tech. If those roll, though, you have to treat them like they're crashing. You have to kind of treat it like, I don't really want to touch it. A lot of earnings shenanigans going on, though. I think it was like Google or something. Yeah, earnings shenanigans here. And this suggests, there's no turnaround here. No turnaround yet for Google. And look at these divergences, man. It's like, yeah, we might see this. You might get this, but you really got to watch for rolling in those tech stocks. I think a lot of people were talking very badly about Nvidia. I think we talked about this during the live show we did a couple of days ago where we kind of tested it, that most people will be talking about this, right? But the important thing is just do our job in here. Like really where you're focusing is like this all in here. It's like, can we beat that high? Do we ever get an argument that says, can we beat that high? Okay, well, look at the 2-hour, because if the daily curls up, we're going to go test that high. The 2-hour is saying what? It's saying we're not going to go test that high. There's too many sellers in here, so you have to burst through and see something like this. You have to burst through and roll and then see something like this to have an argument. We'll see what happens with it, but I see what's going on online, and I think a lot of people want this crash. If you want me to, daily move's working like a charm, right, Bernie? Oh, so close. It tapped the 5-day before that move just now. It does look like that, Joey. I have to say that. The only one that doesn't look like that is the Russell 2000. So Joey, I agree with you completely. The only thing you do have something going for you for a 2-hour move, but you're so negative, you'd look for the roll, right? You'd look for the roll. Just like we were looking for the roll here. Oh, we went too high, right? We went too high up here, so we saw if the 30-minute would do it. Same thing you're looking for here. You're kind of looking for this to fail. That would be actually with the positioning here, you would say pretty probable. There's just a couple of problems here. I'm going to show you the problems and why my argument on Patreon was I'm going to pay attention to any trap signal here before I say we're crashing down. This right here, nothing on the MACD, right? Nothing extended across. Little something right there. Just something fishy. I don't think it's the best signal in the world. It's just fishy. What else? IWM giving you those reversal signals. Very fishy, right? The other thing is the Qs. Yeah, it was bad, and I don't think I updated these daily moves yet. Maybe I should do that. I'm just paying attention to SPY and IWM for the most part. What is this? 586, 39. Monthly moves right there. It's like, wouldn't we maybe go tag that monthly move? What's really stopping us from tagging the monthly move right now? And then you see that for the day, they're saying we're not going to end in the weekly expected move. So we'll be watching. Qs say we're rolling. They really do. The only thing that's fishy about this is you don't see this a lot. This is not a look you see normally. You don't violate the divergence, not have a lower high, and say the Qs are dead. More so, you will see the SPY do this. We did this in 2025. You'll see the SPY look like that. And then you'll see the Qs look like, oh, even more of an up. And then they'll just do something like this. So actually here, you had, like in here, you actually had better arguments. This move gives you an argument for upside. That's what's so fishy here. It's like you break out, oh, nope, oh, we can come right back. So you don't have this look is what I'm saying. That doesn't mean you have to have it, right? We'll watch for the roll, but this would mean that 2-hour roll would be the next thing to watch for. You'd look for a counter move, come into some good sellers, completely do something like this, and fail. You would look for a failure around there. That's what I think. If you're going to come back, you pretty much have to take back all this. You literally have to take all of it back to really say like, oh yeah, we're back to bullish. I would at least say, I guess that's not, I mean, I would at least say the 30-minute needs to do this and then take back that 5-day and give the confirmation. Then you could be like, all right, we're coming back. But which move are we closer to? Right? You tag them about 75% of the time. We didn't tag them last month. So this month, which one are we really close to? This one right here. Couldn't we just do this and then start to go in the other direction, get that counter move like in a couple of days? We'll have to see. It's a very interesting time. That's why I'm glad to be on live video right now. Yeah, I think I agree with you for the most part, Joey. What do you think about Microsoft? I think Microsoft's at a good level. So this is a level I had marked off for a long time. We're building those triple divergences on the 30-minute. This is why I think Joey and I are kind of talking like, hey, there might be some counter moves, but are those counter moves done? Because we just blew through this zone. We had this zone marked off for a long time saying, hey, a shoulder that could have been will be made. You're coming in to kind of take care of a gap. If you're looking for it, like if I'm a guy who's looking at Microsoft and maybe I just invest in it every once in a while and I'm like, all right, there's kind of my top. It's 30% down. Yeah, I'd be looking for potential things like 2-hour divergences in here. I'd be looking for this. See if you take back that zone. But really, you got to take this back to be very confident. You got to see like, bam, then go. You got to see this. Come on. Yeah, you got to take back that level. That's going to be really, really important. Daily scala, you can see it's way down there. So do we have a lot of time to spend down here? Yeah, you probably do. You probably have a decent amount of time. I like the level. I like the level. There's no reversal signal like really on the weekly. You'd want to see like more, roll it. You can easily see that. And then the other way that we do this here is we completely resolve things in here, take our time. We just see that come up. And then we start to go into that sell in May. Remember we were talking about the sell in May potential? We just see something like that. So do I think that we could roll here and keep rolling? Yeah, tech is easily saying we can spend more time down here. We can keep rolling. Weekly charts don't look great when you look at certain things. But when you look at Microsoft, you're like, hey, if that weekly curls up, if we figure things out, we'll have to be paying attention. That really says like, yeah, we can continue, but I'd be cautious with this last push. It looks like we're pushing into. That's what it looks like to me. That's my personal opinion. We can disagree, and that's perfectly fine. I hope that you are doing exactly what makes you successful. And I just hope that in some way, when I speak, it is helpful sharing my mentality. But my mentality here is this is your first scare. Remember when we did live video, or even we talked about it after, you get a scare, then the market does something irrational. Then you see things like Microsoft make a divergence. Then you see things like, oh, the dollar bottomed 2 weeks ago, but the market has continued to go up. Then you kind of have those trap-like signals. I don't see those right now. So I think that my opinion right now is this could be a high potential for a trap. And we actually see the bad thing now, but they do something irrational to pump those markets, and then we see the correction more towards May. But we'll have to see. I'm very loose with my thoughts on the market right now. I'm willing to change at the flip of a coin, to be honest. We're live, Luke. We're live. Just for today. I'm going to try to do my best to, if I do have, and Joe, Han, thanks for subscribing. I'm going to do my best to try to hop on live video on days that I can, because we normally did a live show every day. I'm going to try to. So, but the big thing is here is just getting a hang on things with a 2-year-old and the baby girl, and then hopefully summertime. All right. Just like old times. How high do I think Nvidia gets? I don't give price targets. I just give expected moves. So the expected moves, I'll give you them for Nvidia if you want them, because you're nice and you're here today. You are above an expected move for the day right now, which is crazy. So that's a good thing for Nvidia with its little rejection divergences here on the 30-minute. 177.83 was the top side move. So this is where we could sit all day. So the options market priced in about this right there. So we could sit here all day, come back into that, you know what I mean? And that would make the most sense. That would make the most sense. It does say we are likely, with if that 30-minute can keep going positive, that'd be nice. You just want to be very careful of any 2-hour roll while we're negative. Anything like this, you go into those sellers, and you just go like this and roll. Ooh, that's going to be rough, because you're going to start to play with these levels at that point. You don't really want to see that. I think you want that V shape. I think today's your day. If you're going to start a V shape, today's your day. Other than that, you're going to look for divergences and stuff. That won't necessarily be V shape. That'll be, you're building liquidity in this area for the big move. So yeah, you have to pay attention to 2-hour roll now for everything, just like we did right here. But then we said, watch it. We took back the 5. So if we take back the 5 here, you'll watch it, look at that 30-minute, but see if the 30-minute fails. These are some strong sellers as of right now. Yeah, back to being bullish on this market. The sad thing is, if you're looking at the 2-hour chart, you have to take out these levels. You have to see this, into that. Then you can really say we're back on the bull. It's a long process, isn't it? Long process. Yeah, throttle. So you're at it. The second, I can give you second standard deviation throttle. Hold up. Second standard, you just double the move. It's at 184 for Nvidia. So 184. Like right here. And look at the sellers in there. They're good sellers. When you don't see any wicks or anything like that, you go, ooh. So 184 is the second standard deviation. This means if you get to here today, if you do this, you have a 95% chance just to sit right here. by the end of the day, and you have that 68% chance to come back. That's a lot for the day, though. You're seeing a very good move to the upside right now. Very good questions there. It's good to go over those moves a lot. We do give out Friday daily expected moves every Thursday night for all these stocks on the right side of your screen. My thoughts on crypto are you're going to build a counter trend weekly move. That's my thoughts on crypto. So, and when I say crypto, I mean, I'm talking about Bitcoin. Very likely can be dead cat. You want to watch for dead cat? Just you have reversal signals from IWM, so don't take V-shape off the table. Yeah, for crypto, it's pretty simple. You look at the weekly. The weekly had divergences, just like it did the last time right over here. Had them right over here. We talked about the counter move here to potentially test. We talked about the 4-hour failing that move in negative territory. Very simple thing here, if I can get to the right number. Very simple thing here. 4-hour divergence suggesting the daily turnaround. Failed right there. It failed right here at that about 87.6K. That rolled negative. You can see that very, very clearly here. You don't mess around with that, especially with Bitcoin. But now what are you going to do? You're probably going to build a reversal signal by this trend line. That's the most probable thing to do here as far as how these things like to move. You could see something like up like this at some point, down like this, and then we start to actually see the weekly move. And this weekly move will tell you if it rolls that we have lower to go. If you have lower to go for Bitcoin, that's very risky. Why is it risky? And we'll always talk about it in multiple ways. I'm not here to fear porn you or anything like that. Because if the weekly is here, it's so negative that by the time it can turn around and get that counter move, people think it's coming back. And even if it reaches over 100K, if that rolls, that's when you can start to break critical levels and get to my purple zone. I know that's crazy, but that is how Bitcoin could move here. That would be amazing. I would love that. But what's more likely here? Is it going to play out exactly the same as over here? Probably not. So I would really watch for any kind of reversal here, because if this does not roll, but instead heads to the upside or fake rolls and turns back up, you want to watch because this thing could take off. That's how you have to talk about it. But we did fail that signal in here. Very nice example of a failure. You have to be watching that 4-hour roll. So yeah, the most probable thing here is down for Bitcoin. It is come into this area, create the higher low on the daily, create the divergence in some way, then get the counter move. And if that counter move rolls around 100K, I would say, then you would say, uh-oh, we could break this. Is a breaking of that good? Probably not. That's how I'm looking at it for now, but I'm going to take this weekly as a potential opportunity first. I mean, think about it. It got to, you could double, right? If I just buy here and then it rolls and then I accumulate more down here, am I unhappy? No, I'm happy, you know? I don't do shorting, calling, anything like that. I don't do that with any ETF. I don't do that with Bitcoin at all. It's just a buy at good levels. Down here by this trend line is a good level. If we were going to make new highs, this is the level people would accumulate. If it rolls, I can make a decision there if I want to, or if I'm just going to hold it and price average in, then I would say I'm looking for something below this trend line. And if we can get down to my purple zone, that's my go button, dude. That's my just close my eyes and perk up and buy it. that's my level down there. I know it's crazy, but that's why that level's marked off. It's my crazy don't give a crap buy it level. 14.5K. That's not me saying it's going to get there. That's not me saying it's going to get there. That's me just giving the take of what I see. Yeah, super horny. I appreciate you guys being here today. I know that. Let's talk about this for a brief moment. I think this is important while we do have some people in here. Why is this so much different? You're seeing this a lot. People do this and say they're the same. One, right now you're not behaving the same at all. But two, you do not have the big signals that you had. You just don't. You don't. So look for the market to do something a little irrational is usually what happens here. Doesn't mean we can't. I'm down for it, right? Who's going to complain if we do this? Who's going to complain if we do this? I ain't complaining. I'd be happy as hell. You'd hear me going, woohoo. But as of right now, markets can be very irrational, and something like this can happen. This can happen. Then we start to tear down. That sell in May type attitude. Yeah, I just want you to look. I just want you to look at the signals here and see how they're just different. MACD does not agree with what people are saying, and a lot of them use MACD and they just completely are ignoring weekly charts. Back here, they were looking at weekly charts, telling you everything about them. Now you'll rarely see someone pull up a weekly chart with a MACD. Hey, that's okay, Arcane. We're just doing a couple. I'm gonna try to do hop on here when I can. Most often patterns are not similar. Yeah, stocks don't really work like foot tracks, and things like that in nature, and even foot tracks and things like that in nature, right? You see a certain foot track, you could follow the exact same things and not end up finding what you're trying to find. It's the same thing with stocks, actually, in that scenario, that speech there, because it's just, if you don't see the super irrational things from the market and you're trying to call a top like a mega top, like some people are saying, the market's really good at showing you how irrational it can be, is all I'm saying. And you don't see that. Everyone thought the market was so irrational right here. Everyone thought the market was irrational right here. Everyone thought the market was irrational right here. Everyone thought the market was irrational right here. And then everyone thought the market was irrational right here. And we actually sold off. Why? Because momentum told you. So you can go back and look back here too. It happens almost every time, literally. I think every time. I could probably, we've done it before. We've gone through all the reversal signals that we've had. We go through a lot of them in the course. So I'm not in that boat yet. Tech's just going to be difficult, but if you say take your money and run, the thing is that a lot of people might need to be reminded about, as far as investing goes at least, is buy lower, sell higher. It's like if I was thinking about getting Microsoft a few months ago, well, why am I not thinking about it now when it's 30% off, as far as investing goes? If you're trading, it's always different. I'm going to pull up IWM on the other charts real quick. Just take a peek. Yeah, IWM. Oh, did it. Nice. Okay, so IWM taking out 261. For the 2 hour, you'd still really like that 265, and that's going to be a stretch for today. Yeah, that's a big stretch. It looks like maybe a counter move for volatility. We could see some volatility probably in about 6 minutes. If you're going to see it, it would be either this in 6 minutes or 36 minutes. It's like 9:30 for me is a volatile time, and then you look at the 10 and the 11 o'clock for me. Nice. JP Morgan, our play there. Still doing well over there at JP Morgan. Congrats on Target. I know, Jonna. I know. Target looks nice, doesn't it? This is what I'm talking about. Everyone's paying attention to a lot of things, saying they're horrible, but man, what a play we did with Target. And we tried to walk through this a few times. Man, what a play here as far as investment goes with Target. Risky area starts to be here, 132, but it's just going well. It depends on where you're saying dead cat. I think tech, you have a very serious argument for dead cat. I think SPY, you have a slight argument for dead cat. Definitely worth saying. And then as far as it goes, though, with IWM, IWM, you can't say dead cat yet. Hey, nice, DSAT. Yeah, I respect the dead cat call, though. I definitely respect that, because this guy on the 2 hour, this guy on the 2 hour is saying, if I get a counter move here from what we're doing now, This is like, ooh, that's rough. Saying, hey, we're deep here. If it's lackluster, don't. If it's quick, don't. If it's quick and then catches itself, that's when you're happy. You'd really like to take this out, though. Nice job. What up? What's Fritz saying? Human brain looks for patterns as far as mode. Yeah, you always look for something that can hurt you. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are seeing the signals that can really hurt, but why is IWM showing that? You know what I mean? It's like, everyone's paying attention to those survival instincts. I get it. Everyone's paying attention to the negative. That's why the news is negative all the time. That's why I don't watch the news. But I think with all those negative signals on some bigger time frames, a lot of people are ignoring the fact that, weirdly enough, we do have forms of divergence on IWM. We do have those things. It's just interesting. And if you think about it, for the month, if we're able to resolve it, we're at the lower monthly move. It's pretty nice. So you're a leader, dude, Domain. You are a leader. That's what we like to see. Lead the way. It's always risky at the beginning of a month. You go down to a monthly move because that could just be like, hey, we're just going to sell this thing off for a week and then buy it all back. Monthly should be red as hell. Monthly should not look good here. See this? Jinking off with a 9 on the monthly. Now, the risky thing for the monthly is just a monthly pullback, by the way. This is why correction still. Even if you had a crash, it would probably look something like this. Just takes a long time. Come into there. Now, monthly charts, though. You don't have a lot of history with monthly charts necessarily that you can rely on for technical analysis. So as far as risk goes, I like weekly charts. Monthly chart, though, here is suggesting a big pullback could come. The thing is, what if you did this for a bunch of months? Then you just turned up. That's what I'm saying. I'm very interested to see if the Qs make monthly reversal signals, like on the MACD and RSI at the same time. I will be out of everything if that happens. You show monthly on Spy the Q. What color is monthly's yellow. Here's the Qs. The monthly levels for the Qs this month are going to be 655.33, and you're almost to the downside one. That's why we're like, hey, be cautious a little bit here. If you see reversal signals anywhere in this area, you have to be willing to flip the script. You got to have, what do we say? You can have a 99% of you be like, fuck, I'm bearish. Oh, I know there's a counter move coming maybe, but I'm bearish. I'm ready to short still. Shorten's working. Of course it is. You're below the 5-day. But if you see a reversal signal, you got to have that 1% guy, right? What's the face we use? It's this guy, right? This guy pops up at the monthly move where you just look at it and you go, kind of weird, right? We could spend, Qs are suggesting we spend more time here, but this guy starts to pop up right here and right here, but right here. Because we're on Friday, it's not as much here, it's right here. He goes, we're pretty close to that line. If you want to do that for SPY, monthly moves here, 719.45. Downside, you're not even close. You're really not that close to it, to be totally honest. So 664.49. So can the Qs see a further dump and the SPY get to that monthly expected move? Yes. We'll have to see. It's the beginning of the week. We had to do a lot of homework here. But yeah, your moves here, 664.49 to the downside. Right at the daily expected move for today. Very nice. Yeah, all this would be, once again, this little fella right here starts to pop up here. But he pops up here too for this week, right? He pops up here and he pops up here. If we do this, boom, boom, boom. We do this really rapidly, really, really fast. This guy pops up right here. He goes, hey, hold on a second. Hey, wait a second. We're getting a little overzealous. So I'm not suggesting this will happen. I do think it's a possibility. I think today, like you have to start today. If you're going to start to V-shape, I think you have to start like today. Oh, was it? It was already tapping down there. That's where those buyers step in. If you look pretty simply, you broke through, boom, you get to here, you tap here, you tap here, you tap here. So what you kind of look at, this isn't going to be proper, by the way. This is not proper in any way. You could take these lows right in here. You see all this confidence right here. We kind of gap through it. We see a little tag here. You see all of this. You could just mark all this off right here and say all of that is kind of where buy zones have been, right? Where do we always bounce from? We come into here, pink, come into here, pink, come into here, pink, come into here, pink. It's just now you're still doing those bad things, so you got to be willing to roll. Now, this isn't normal price action or anything, so don't think anything of it. I'm just displaying where we keep gravitating to and where we keep getting those bounces from. This was beautiful. Everyone thought crash here. We even put out a Patreon video saying this is it. We're going up. Oh man, that was a scary but good call. This one was a little bit easier. I mean, all of this is pretty easy, right? That's easy. This was a little difficult, but still, I think easier than over here. Right now will be the hardest one. Expecting it. They do top jab. That's a, yes, exactly. Exactly. And really understanding what they are can help. Okay. It's not me putting lines up or making support like I just did. The lines that you see here, any hard line has data behind it. There is a calculated thing going on here. Notice we go outside of the weekly move, we bounce. It's a very good thing to pay attention to for market makers too. Hey, not going to get it every single time, Jonna. We easily could have been wrong, right? Good to remind yourself of that all the time, but we are very fortunate to be following the signals as correctly as we have throughout all of this. Even this roll down here was scary, but you remember the divergences, right? The divergences at what? A monthly move, right? Divergence at monthly move. If you make a divergence here at monthly move, what happens? Just like here. I appreciate it. I know I haven't been able to chat with people as much online about things. I'm hoping that changes in 2026. We'll see what kind of baby we got. It's only been a week. It's been a little over a week. Psychologically, though, it keeps you from, right? You just go decision-making areas. It just keeps you from it. It doesn't mean you can't wipe it out, but it does help you more than it hurts you, knowing what these are. Very much so. Let's go into the 30-minute here. Look at a 5. We're live. We like 5s sometimes here. Yeah, so 5 super positive. You should not expect the bullishness to stop unless volatility is disagreeing. Volatility not necessarily disagreeing. So this would suggest if you're going to dip down, it would probably have to be like that. But this is suggesting we can just keep doing this kind of thing. Take all this back. Boom. Then we see that pull down. Squeezes on the tail. Like I said, V-shaped day needs to be today. The dollar did give you a reversal signal saying people will slightly go out of cash for the next couple of days. Where are they going to go into? And that's why IWM is showing the best signal as of right now. 5-minute looks pretty good. 30-minute here, just divergence on that RSI down here. So you do have reasons that the 2-hour could turn up. Thanks for shouting that out, Ramesh. Appreciate it. That's a nice crash in last month's. Exactly. And oh, here's the thing though, Domain. If you get, I will be a kid in a candy store if we get a market like this again. I made the most money I've ever made in my trading career right here. Not here, not calling some kind of top, and I'm not going to be like, I called the week of the top. It's me. No, I'm a trader. I have to do my job. That's all this is, right? Nobody else gloats about their job all the time and is nice to see. So why would I do it? No. But right here, right after all this, like right into this area when volatility was high, oof, that was good stuff. And look at this. The monthly just turns up. If you're investing, weekly pullback, invest again, boom, off to the races. But I was looking at Target for the longest time. I've been looking at Target forever. I'm so glad that panned out. Target's so good. Everyone, I didn't realize how many people online are hating on Target. Like, the best part, I will tell you the best part about investing in something like Target. One, it was 70% off. Woohoo! Two, you can go to your investment. You can go to your investment. How dope is that? I can literally go to Target and see that it's absolutely packed with white women drinking Starbucks coffees, including my Spanish wife. And I can actually go see that and be like, man, my investment's going pretty well. You know, people are still going there at rapid pace. It's so funny. If you go to Target, you're running, my wife, we're running into like 3 family friends. And my wife, when she goes, she always runs into 2 other moms we know. You know, all of them just take their kid to Target. I appreciate that, DSAT. I really appreciate that. The videos, I know I haven't been able to spend time on thumbnails, so I've been putting out quick thumbnails and things like that, but I also haven't had the most time to just like make a video and edit. So I've been trying my best to put out the helpful thing, but sometimes I don't have as much time to kind of make it as clear as I would want it to be. So I'm hoping to have, you know, everyone hopes for more time on their work. Hood? I haven't looked at Hood in a while. Let's look at some fun ones. I'm down. I'm down to look at Hood. We got some time this morning. It's I got 22 minutes. Ooh. Hood's going into earnings here. Oh, let's look at this. Let's do it backwards here. Okay. Okay. Have that marked off for some reason, but you'd also be looking. I don't even know what this is, to be honest. Doesn't look like a bad mark off. Looks like a top over here. Delete that off. Weekly, you're looking for this to turn around. Earnings could really shake that up. Daily, it looks like you have more time in this area. Is it absolutely over for Hood? Probably not. Probably not here. No, this looks like boom, pulls back into buyers, boom, pulls back into buyers. MACD, no divergence here on both the MACD and RSI on the weekly. That would say pretty much as long as you're not making new low, this area would be probably a good one to watch. Not the most clear with the bars in here for price action, so you can do cheeky little things like this. There's your golden pocket. Golden pocket's right at that like 0.65. You can add a fib in there if you need to, 0.65. We don't talk about golden pocket too much. I'm not the biggest user of it, but it just goes, okay, pretty much when I do something like this, I don't have any information here. I don't have a monthly expected move. I don't have a quarterly expected move. I don't even have a weekly expected move for Hood. So is this area a good area to pay attention? I'm trying my best to figure out if that's true. Why? Because the weekly chart's by the center line. If that curls up, test the high, go make a new one, right? We can fail, but it says I need to be watching for a positive curl up here. So I watch it and I go, okay, what makes this area interesting to me? Is there any reason that this area is interesting? So I ended up pulling up a fib because there's no other thing I can think of that I have in my edge tool belt to look for. So as of right now, I can look at this and say, hey, we tapped around that golden pocket. This is an area to pay attention. If I wanted to, I could even just put a line there. I could put a line right here, delete this off, and go, okay, if I see, maybe I make weekly expected moves for this next week, or monthly expected moves would have been better here. What's the MACD stuff telling me right now? It's telling me, okay, we're at that good level that I have some kind of information for. And what would I do? Do I just buy it because we're at that level? That's not how I like to do things. Maybe we trade differently. That's fine. But I would look for a reaction off of this that gives me the higher low on the daily as far as investing goes. I think options wise is going to be risky all the way up into earnings. But I'm also looking for any kind of counter move that creates this shape. I just want to see this kind of shape, whether that is here and it goes positive and I see it over here, that's my go button, or whether we make a divergence like this. So if we would do this, I'm interested. I'm seeing if that weekly can turn up. If we do this, boom. I'm interested right here. I'm interested right here. This one will be riskier, but sometimes the more risk, the more reward, right? You'd still potentially get a higher low that would be safer. That's what I like to say to people. I think, yeah, okay. Hood and related to Bitcoin, I think you'd be correct in saying that right now. I think just like Hood needs to make a daily divergence here, I think that we have the same statement on Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it has more time here. Got to be aware of the V shapes and higher lows too, though. Don't always think divergence, right? If something goes positive or you see it curl up with a higher low near that center line, that is a reaction worthy thing as well. What's my number one technique for being patient? Let me think. Oh, this. Very simple. All right. I'll teach you. I'll teach you something good here. This helped me when I first started to use these moves. I wasn't patient. I constantly was trading in the middle, 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 in the middle. If you're trading in the middle, have a great argument for getting to a monthly move. Okay. And still have the plan for if it goes wrong. That's one. But the best thing that I do that keeps me patient is I wait for a weekly expected move to get tagged. I wait for a monthly expected move. So I don't even look. You could not even look at the charts till you're here. You could not even look at the charts till you're here or here or here. These are the areas you would look at the charts. This is like the best thing, especially for like my time with the really difficult pregnancy, my time with the newborn in our home right now. I'm literally going, I'm going to wait for a weekly expected move, then I will look at charts, right? I think that is literally the simplest thing that I can tell you as far as being patient goes. The other thing is, if you're doing that, if you're saying, I'm going to wait till I see this or this tagged, right? You're saying that. Do you need to watch stocks right now? If I'm waiting for a monthly expected move to get tagged, do I need to watch stocks? Well, are we close to there? If my whole plan is to be very patient for a monthly move or something like that, then I would have to be patient for all of this. So what do you do during this time? Do you stare at charts? Or do you do something else with your time and try to make a little money, right? This is why things like a YouTube channel and stuff made sense for me. It's like, hey, I take 2 week to 8 week plays. So therefore, if I'm waiting for a weekly expected move to get tagged, I have time to maybe make a YouTube video and share my opinion and try to help people. And then I can make advertising money with that and make an extra, I don't know, I think it's like $500 a month. But it does bring in some kind of money, right? The same could be said for you. You could go do something during that time. And then by the time it gets to that monthly move, you can then use your skills and then say, okay, now I not only have this $1,000, but during the month that I was waiting for that, I made 500 extra bucks. And now I have a little bit more cushion, right? Things like that are great. See, not Navin's like log off, say, log off, do activities, go touch grass, play our graders or something, treat yourself for a little bit, right? Don't read Twitter. Do not, or at whatever it is, X. Let's see here. Silver. I actually haven't looked at silver in a bit. I saw it dumped off by like what, 20%, 30%? Yeah, that's rough. So this is a parabolic move. We can use gold too, but this is a parabolic move, which means you never have to go here until later. I think this is showing you the problem before the problem is fully admitted. Our creators, I should stream that. I've been playing it with my boys obsessively. I'm rich. That's what I play when baby girl's sleeping and I'm trying to give mom some rest. You would say positive trend, right? You would say positive trend, but look at this. That's pretty parabolic. Nice candle at the end too. Very, very nice. And then bam, you come to the downside. The truth is, if the daily curls up here, you have to be open to another run. You have to be open to another run. You have to be open to another run. The 2 hour is showing potential divergences right here. And you also see that on what? You see that on MACD at the same time. So can the daily turn around here? Yes. You just really want to be aware of what? The roll probably in here. You got to make sure that builds back. But the daily would suggest that that parabolic move can happen again, right? But because it is so parabolic, because it's very much so straight up, you have to be aware of something like this. So what am I getting at? In order for this to tell us it's really going down, you have to see a divergence or you have to see the lower high. Once you see the lower higher divergence, you can be, you can tell your buddies and be friend, go up to all your friends and try to act all smart and say, hey, I think silver or gold is going to top here. But I would not do that before confirmation of a lower high or divergence, at least. I would not do that. You should. I'm both, Super Hornet. That game, I think it's worth the thing for me. I figured out how to rig it to get PvE lobbies very easily. I can give you my tips. And then PvP wise, I just like to do it in trios. Solo, I'm just, chilling with baby girl, not making a bunch of noise, killing some robots. But haven't had a lot of time lately to play. PvP, I'm very good at trios. Just not very good one-on-one. I have too much of I'm too nice. I'm too nice. I literally see someone looting and I'm like, I'm gonna hit them. No, I can't. I just mentally, like, my personality, I guess, gets in the way. My conscience gets in the way. But yeah, silver looking at I want to see if that's on gold as well. Yeah, gold, massive moves. You see the tear to the upside, always aware of. Oh, right. Then you can say, hey, I think gold's topping out. Hey, I think gold's topping out. But until then, no, you can't say that. Yeah, 2 hour higher low, trying to confirm right now. This means gold and silver look like a run is coming in the next few sessions. Very tough. I don't play things up that high. I know that's great. I know. But gold, hey, is truly playing with fire. Gold is, if it makes any kind of reversal signal, it's already at like monthly expected move and stuff, I think. But yeah, you got to be very cautious if you see something reversal looking outside of a monthly move with that parabolic look. I think so. Yep. Craving exactly right here. You see the 2 hour trying to confirm right now, right there for GLD. Futures probably look even better. No, futures probably look pretty good here. I would say you're probably looking for the 4 hour to pop up. Yep, 4 hour already popped up. This says it's going. That says higher or low. So you should expect this to potentially at least come test 5320, 5400 probably. And then you see if you fail. And you see if you fail. This is where it becomes risky. End of February more, I would say. I don't know what the crowns are. I think it means you're number one fans. Okay, Cravings, you got it. Oh no. Yeah, right off the 5-day and the daily expected move sitting right there. This 30-minute rolls, cautious. This is where you got it, yeah. VIX 15? I don't see 15. I see 5, but it's just on our side. You see these all the time. Smaller time frame, the more you get reversal signals, the more failures, the more completions. The big thing is here, 5-minute, this divergence right here is a big deal. So if this sends this down, you got to be careful. That can wipe things out. If this comes down to here and is able to catch itself, that's when you start to go, okay, we're going to maybe continue to see. We got to see if we get a V-shape end of day. If you don't V-shape here, it's risky. Well, I think VIX on the 30-minute negative in some way. 2-hour, though, very positive. If this is my caution tip here is like, I won't have any play on. If this 2-hour ever rotates back up, I will be just like sitting, doing nothing, probably holding a baby. Shit. It looks like SPY has bearish divergence and is getting weak. I don't see the bearish divergence now. The bearish divergence already has been playing out. This is your divergence right here on the daily. Right there. But look at this. What happens if this turns up, guys? Let's ask a question. That's another 150K valuation with weekly expected move in this daily expected move. So it did well for you, Top Jab? This metal fuser, this is weak looking. But we have to do our job as traders and say, is this 100% move? No. If we figure stuff out in here and here, and we do this, if that confirms up, is that bullish or bearish? Right? It's a very simple question. If that MACD was turned up in green, is that bullish or bearish? Yeah, very, very simple. If you treat it very simply like that, it can be a good, it can do well for your mentality. It's not saying it's bullish right now. It's saying we're in negative trends on those shorter time frames. But that 1% guy in my head that goes, what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong with that bearishness? What if there's too many people posting crash? What if the daily chart curls up? All right, then I have to flip the script. Yeah. If that turns up, I'll make a lot of money. It can continue lower, trade like water. Lars, I like it. Exactly. You're watching for the 2-hour roll, but you're also watching if the daily confirms up, because if that confirms up, we've been bottled up for what? I mean, I know we spread out in here, but really you've been at this price since end of October. End of October, you've been here, right? So if you're, yeah, we saw some moves, but for the most part, sitting in this area, very possible. But is it probable yet? That's the question, right? Is it probable that that move is going to happen yet? Well, the 2 hours is extremely negative, and that's not even turned up, so no. Arch Holloway is so much fun. She's very different from my first daughter so far. So she just likes to sleep, 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 eat, 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 cry, cry, cry. That's about it. Yeah, daily move fully tagged on that one right there. Trade like water is always the way to be. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a mind reader and tell you that I call the top every single time a top is formed. Nope, that's not the job. That's not what I'm doing. Calling a top literally does nothing for you unless you know how to play it. So that's so fun. I like to hear that. I like to hear about people talking cool about their kids. I'm just interested to see the next one's person. I think she'll be chill. Oh, to know if the daily? Are you talking about the daily metal fuser? What you'd really like to see a daily turn up is a 2-hour divergence. I'll show you one right here. We had reason to believe the daily was going to turn up right here. Bam. Why? Right here. Those divergences right there. Right there. So we need reasons. Do we have those reasons now? Now, this is a divergence one. That's what we're talking about for now. This is a divergence one, right? We don't see any divergence right now. You could say it's extended across. It's probably too far extended. You have too many waves above you. So you'd probably have to create that now. What's the other way that charts turn around to give you hints? Well, they turn around by doing what? Giving you higher lows. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're going to go up, right? Not much room there, unfortunately, right? Not a big squeeze that time. So you would say what? I need to see a 2-hour higher low, break through, come back, go again, boom. Daily's going to the upside. We could go to that monthly move. That's the truth of it with a higher low. Higher lows, they sometimes take a lot of room away from you. That's why I really like divergences, and you hear me talk about them all the freaking time. If we could do this, that, bam, divergence. So you look for a higher low, you look for a divergence. Which one do I, which one am I fearful of downside? Well, I have to be fearful of both. If this 2-hour turns down here, I'm going to be out for a moment. The actual play is probably over here. If I see a divergence, if we do this and we roll, am I going to be in calls when that happens and that curls down? No. So I want to see this from my MACD, or I want to see it higher up, like that. So the truth is, you want to see this, but remember that that failed. Ooh, that's why we had to mention failure a couple videos ago. If this fails, then we have to react. Failed, and if we didn't react, then you got smacked. That's why we say trade like water in almost every single video. So the truth is, if you want to see if that's going to turn up, you need to see a 2-hour higher low or a 2-hour divergence to say that that is highly probable. And then you have to go through your risk management practices. Right now, do we see anything that suggests it can turn up for the SPY? We don't see either of those things. But do we see it in any indice? Yes. You have the 2-hour divergence here, right here for IWM. You have that also taken out on the MACD. So what you do is you can also go down here and be like, is it really there? Let me take into consideration a lot of price action's been happening overnight. And you see what? You plainly see here, because of the closure of the bars, it's difficult to call it a divergence. We'll say double bottom in some way, but the big thing here is you're curling up the MACD closer to going positive. You're curling up this RSI closer to going positive. This means that this is when you break through that 265 level on IWM, you break through, you come back and you get that higher low again, maybe. And that's maybe. Why is it maybe? Because you've already made a divergence. You don't need a higher low at this point. This thing can scream. So the US 2000 IWM is saying, we're going to scream to the upside. That's the probable thing that's being suggested here. It can fail, but that's what's being suggested here with this 4-hour divergence. So am I going to be bearish on every single market right now? IWM is saying do not be. The only thing we keep saying about the SPY is this is your day where you kind of got to squeeze. You bet, Fritz. Hey, tell the family I say hi, okay? I think that's how we are, Top Jab. First, baby, once you see, I'll tell you what I was thinking about the other day because it's on my mind. You know, I'm very thankful for my girls, but I don't know if I could handle a third. But I will say my first baby girl showed me what's truly important in life, and my second baby girl showed me who gave me those things. And I think that's truly the amazing part about kids for me. It's really changed me as a person completely. But the first one showed me what's really important, and then the second one showed me who it came from. And I think that's awesome. Like that's the only way I can put it into words. If you ever get the opportunity, treat it just like that, an opportunity to become more patient. You want to become more patient, be a parent. You know, wait for those monthly expected moves or become a parent. Market makers are burning volatility. I'd have to agree with that. This is where they do it. They say, hey, it's going to crash. You're below the weekly expected move. You should short this. And then you bounce most of the time. Not all the time, most of the time. 68% of the time. I wonder if I could like track that for the next year. Yeah, so your confirmation would be a 2-hour high or low, and I like the lagging indication because if you're looking for a daily move to the upside, then taking the 2-hour confirmation can be better. It can get you in earlier, but you're looking for the confirmation. I like to use the lagging indicator if I'm going down in the charts, not just doing a swing on the daily. I will look for a confirmation on the MACD. It is the most lagging indicator. You see it on the 1 hour? Bearish? I don't see anything bearish down here. You'll see bearish divergence. Well, bearish. Most of the time, you will see a divergence that is overall, I would say, negative right up here. Maybe I could go look at futures to see what maybe you're looking over there. No, there's no divergence here. This is where I'd be watching maybe. 68% of the time, it works every time. Yeah, boy. What state you live in? I live in the middle of the country. I'll put it that way. And I really like a funny blue and red bird. That's where I went to school before I played college soccer. Yeah. Blue collar, I like it. Yeah, hey librarian. Hey, you stop that. How'd you get so smart? How'd you get so wicked smart? Yeah. Just a little Midwest boy. Just a little Midwest boy out here saying hi to everyone, waving to everyone, holding doors for everyone. JW Stoney, thanks so much for joining us today. Thanks for subbing. We might have subs turned off right now, but normally it pops up with a little twiddly-doo. Take a look at Netflix. Netflix was last time that was not it. Netflix, I think it's on my charts actually. I think this is what, yeah, there it is. It has a failure into another 2-hour divergence. So to see the failure, I hate these. These don't build a bunch of confidence. But as far as investing wise, look at this. If you're really looking at this, what's very likely for the daily here? Your daily divergence is on the MACD. It's still so far away from that center line that I'd be so worried about this. I'd be so worried about that. I think you're probably good to look at a weekly chart here. Yeah, this might be that might be a top for Netflix. You might get a weekly counter move because of those daily divergences, but I'd really be watching for the next weekly roll. Yeah, I'd be very cautious with that. It says this is probably a good level where you can get a bounce according to the daily, but the weekly is suggesting lower high. Now that does mean that Netflix could go up for the next few months. Yeah, potentially metal fuser. Yeah, that's kind of it. 2-hour. That's how I'm looking at it. Yeah, 2-hour divergence there. It violated once, but it has confirmed. You haven't seen that breakout moment. You got it. Once you see this on this stuff, one thing that's good is I see a violation. I can still be looking at Netflix and say, hey, that could get a weekly move to the upside, but I really want that 2-hour to take back the 5. So something here is if these are looking really wonky, I can still keep my eye on it, but just say, I want to play the 2-hour higher low, right? I want to see this happen, right? We go up to here, then we dink off of that 5-day, and I can be bullish over here. It's a little patience thing, probably. We are at 10:04. 0 boy and a 1-year-old girl. Hell yeah. Working on third now. Working on the third now. Bound chicka. I didn't know this was that kind of channel, JW Stoney. Stop it. No. Of course, man. Of course. Trying to be helpful out here. That's all it is. Yeah, so I'd like that for Netflix, though. Just look, this has failed right here. So I want to be like, well, it's still a good price. I'm looking for a weekly up move. Maybe I look for the higher low. Like right now? Like, dude, are you typing in chat while... No. No, that's too dirty. This is PG. Yeah, so overall, I'll go over it one more time, but you're looking for the squeeze today. If you can get the squeeze today, the safer play. I like the IWM look right now. I think that one actually has reasons for the trade. the way that you want to see if this is turning around on the daily and this is a trap to go make new all-time highs is you probably have to make a new all-time high. That's the sad part here. The safer play is right here. If we're able to roll at any point before we make a new high, then you are cautious. If you do this and you roll, cautious. But if you're able to carve out a divergence with that, you got to be ready to react. We'll go over this over the next few trading sessions, but today, if you're going to see that V shape, if you're going to see some kind of V shape, I think you got to see it today. So, hey, thank you guys so much. I know we'll try to do more of these as much as possible. I will really try to capitalize on any free time that I get, especially in the morning. It's a great thing to come on the live show and talk about these things so you guys can see some things in real time. We can talk back and forth and answer questions about things. I did leave the course sale up just for this weekend pretty much in case people had questions. And I think just talking about stocks and stuff, we get through a lot of those questions. So it's nice to be back with you guys. It is very nice to do a live show. I've been itching to talk more and more about stocks, and my wife gets annoyed at me every single day. but we actually talked about Tesla a little bit at the beginning, I think. I do think Tesla's at a spot where the daily can get a reaction here. I do think that, but the signals are not the best. I don't trade Tesla very often. I think that that is a steal from retail stock, in my opinion. But I know people who are very successful trading it. So I don't think you have the best signals for a trade setup right now. You just have 2-hour divergences all over the RSI, suggesting, mid probability, not a high probability, say mid probability for a daily move to the upside. But thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. Thank you guys for all the support through this crazy, harsh pregnancy that I didn't have to, blessings to my wife, all the thanks to her. But I really do appreciate you guys liking these videos, and I just hope it continues to be helpful. And I want to make sure to stick to that always, right? Make sure to be giving out the most helpful information possible so that we can see which way this market's going, so we can trade like water the whole time. But that's so we don't, run into a rock or end up with the it clown. We want to end up in that meadow all the time. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, okay? Peace out. Lastly, make sure, keep an eye on that US 2000. Keep an eye on that Russell. Keep an eye on IWM. Oh, it's ripping now. Yeah. IWM, I think I posted that to Patreon. I hope I did, because that was a big warning sign so far. All right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Make sure to treat yourself. Learn if you want. Links down in the description. Sales up for this weekend, and then we're done with it. But have a great one. Peace out.